Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Gary Bledsoe. I want to show you some ways that I've learned how to get rid of some negative people, negative situations in my life, and I think it's going to be pretty helpful for you. So stand by. Welcome back. I'm just going to tell you something that I've done that has helped me to be able to deal with some situations that were kind of like holding me back in a sense, kind of like, keeping me down, keeping me depressed. Because 2013 was a very pivotal year for me. It was a year in which, I feel like I was growing more mentally. I was becoming more enlightened, and I had to really, do some things, do some different strategies and techniques to be able to get myself to where I am now so that way I can go ahead and move forward and move on. So one of the first things that I did was, when I encountered some toxic people, some negative people, people who, sometimes they seem like they were your friend, or they said they were there to help you, however they, every time they talk to you, they only want to talk to you about telling you something you shouldn't do, you should do this, you shouldn't do that. And being in network marketing, you kind of feel like you're alone sometimes, and you kind of don't want to really hear that. You want to hear that encouraging spirit. You want to hear it either from people in your network marketing company or away from it. So one of the first things I'm going to tell you that I did, and I'm not telling you have to do it, but one of the first things that I did was I had to find out exactly why this was happening. Whenever something bad was happening, some kind of negative situation or something that was going on, and everything I'm telling you is going to help you to be able to get further enlightened, just like how I did it, to get further, to develop yourself more further into a more positive setting, so that way you could just take off and move on. The first thing I did was I had to find out exactly what it is. I had to find out exactly what was the reasoning for all this situation to take place. Why was this happening to me? I had to seriously sit down and say, okay, why is this person doing this? Or why is that person doing that? Or why am I in this situation? Or why is this situation happening? What can I learn from this situation? I had to really dig deep down and find out what it is. And once I found out what it is, the second thing I had to do was I had to deal with it. I had to deal with it. It could have been dealing with it in a way where it was direct, where I had to say something to somebody in a way and letting them know how I felt about whatever it is, or how I felt about the situation, or I had to do it indirectly in a form of avoidance, or a form of staying distance, or whatever it is. But I had to deal with it. The first thing I did was I had to find out exactly what was the reason why it was happening. Then the second thing is I had to deal with it. I had to face it. I had to say, yo, what's going on? Why is this happening? I got to find out. I had to deal with exactly. I had to address the issue. I guess you can say I had to address the issue. Then the third thing I did that helped me out a lot. The third thing was I had to learn how to remove it. I had to learn how to remove whoever it was, whatever the situation was that was bothering me. I had to get rid of it. I had to get away from it. It's something called the law of limited association, which I love so much. I call it the law of avoidance. You have to learn how to get rid of whatever that negative, toxic situation is. So you want to find out why is this negative situation happening to you. Then you want to be able to deal with the fact that this is happening to you. You got to deal with the fact that it is happening to you. Then number 3, you have to learn how to remove it. You have to learn how to get rid of it. You have to learn how to just say, you got to go. No more. I don't want this anymore. This has to go. I can't. This is not good for my life. This is not healthy for me. It has to go. Then the fourth thing that I did, and I'm just telling you what I did to be able to deal with these situations, and I'm telling you, it's going to really help me in 2014, and I hope that it helps you. But the fourth thing I did, and if it does help you, please feel free to leave me a comment, or like this post if it's on Facebook or YouTube. Like this, comment on my blog, comment on Facebook or YouTube if you really like what I'm saying. But the last thing I did that truly helped me get to the next level was I had to replace that situation. I had to once I got rid of it, I had to do something else. I had to put myself in the arena of something new. Either that was reading something more positive, listening to something more positive, being around more positive people, being in situations that will do nothing but help me get better, help me be more smarter, help me be more stronger, help me maybe be more better at marketing online, maybe marketing offline. You have to put yourself in a different surrounding. I used to be a New York City correction officer, and I remember a lot of times the inmates would say, when I get out of jail, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put myself in a different environment. And 9 times out of 10, they would get out of jail, and they would be right back in that same environment. So they would do steps 1, 2, and 3, but that 4th step they did not do, and guess what happened? They wound up coming right back to jail. So the first thing they did was they found out what it was, why they wound up in jail in the first place, which was a negative situation. Then they had to deal with the fact that they had to do their time. Then the third thing was they said, you know what? I need to remove myself from that situation. But what happened was when step number 4 came, which was put yourself in a different arena, a more positive arena, relocate, put yourself somewhere, get yourself away from whatever it is, and then put yourself somewhere else. Guess what happened? They wound up coming back to jail. They wound up being, repeat offenders and things like that. So I hope that this helps someone else and me, because it really helped me to really see clear. I mean, I learned things so much in 2013, and I'm so glad I did. I learned from friends who taught me how to be and taught me how not to be, and I learned from people who I consider they're not my friends, people that this was my associate. I learned how to be and how not to be. In these 4 steps, number 1, found out what it was, why it was happening. Number 2, I had to, the second thing I had to do was I had to deal with that fact that it was happening. And number 3, I had to remove whatever was happening from my life. And number 4, I had to put something else that was more positive back into my life in order for me to move on and go on to the next level, the next plane, the next advancement, the next achievement. So I hope this helped you. Once again, this is Gary Bledsoe signing off, and I hope some help someone out there. Thank you.